Hi, I'm Chao-Wei Hwang from the Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine and Frederick Health Hospital. Today we're going to talk about wiring techniques for tortuous coronary arteries and discuss a case of a tortuous RCA in which a dual lumen Sasuke catheter turned out to be the key. The patient is a 50-year-old woman with high blood pressure who presented with a small non-STEMI. Her echo showed low normal ejection fraction with inferior hypokinesis. On Cath, the LED and circumflex had only mild to moderate disease. The RCA is shown, and as you can see, it is quite tortuous, and the clear culprit is a critically severe focal lesion in the middle of one of the turns. Here is another view of the RCA so we can better appreciate the tortuosity. How would you go about wiring this? Well, a workhorse wire like a BMW or a ProWater is usually not going to be great. This is because all of the friction around all of the turns, as well as through the stenosis, will greatly reduce your ability to move and control the wire. You'll end up not being able to torque the wire tip, and the guide will often end up backing out as you're pushing harder. Now, if you do end up having to work with a workhorse wire for whatever reason, you might want to try a more supportive guide if possible. To reduce friction, spin the wire very quickly with the tips of your fingers. This will reduce friction, but will also reduce your ability to direct the wire. You may want to keep the wire tip very short if your goal is to just navigate down the vessel. This will keep you out of side branches. Another technique is to use a U-shaped tip. Like a short tip, the U-shaped tip will also keep you out of side branches, and when used together with the fast spin technique, it will generally handle tortuous vessels very well. But you'll have even less ability to direct the wire, and do make sure that you are not in the dissection plane first before advancing a U-shaped tip wire. A better approach is to use your workhorse wire within a microcatheter. This is actually generally my preferred approach. The microcatheter will reduce friction, so this means that I don't have to fast spin, and because I can shape my wire normally, I maintain good directional control. But sometimes the microcatheter can bias your wire direction, and occasionally, for very severe stenoses, the microcatheter may not be able to cross the lesion. So a perhaps even better approach is to use a hydrophilic wire and possibly together with the microcatheter. The hydrophilic coating on the wire will minimize friction, and this will improve your wire control and pushability without necessarily needing to use a microcatheter. I generally will reach directly for a hydrophilic wire in cases where my guide engagement is very tenuous, or when I'm unable to engage and have to airmail a wire. This sometimes happens when there is a severe osteolesion or when we're dealing with an anomalous coronary artery. But because these wires are slick, they also end up dissecting and perforating more easily, so be careful. It is reasonably common to get a distal wire tip perforation with hydrophilic wires. I will generally still use a microcatheter with my hydrophilic wires, if only to exchange it for a more friendly workhorse wire after I cross the lesion. Okay, so for our patient, I started with my standard initial approach for tortuous vessels, which is to use a workhorse with a microcatheter. In this case, I used a BMW wire through a turnpike microcatheter. But after a couple of minutes of trying, I simply could not get the BMW wire through the lesion, even with the turnpike advanced to the proximal RCA. The soft, flexible tip of the BMW did not provide enough support for me to get the turnpike around that first sharp turn. And looking at the lesion now, I suspect I roughed it up a little bit with the BMW. Maybe there's a little bit of an intimal injury or even a micro dissection. So next I tried a hydrophilic wire. I used a Pilot 50 via the turnpike and intending to exchange the Pilot 50 back to a BMW after I crossed. So the Pilot 50 eventually crossed after a lot of manipulation, but ended up in the marginal branch. And I could not, for the life of me, get it to turn down into the distal RCA. I tried to get the turnpike to follow through the lesion, thinking that I could perhaps reshape the wire and redirect, but the turnpike could not cross the lesion. I was frankly a little bit perplexed why I had so much trouble. Maybe it was just a lesion and a curve biasing the direction of my wire, but I was also a little bit concerned that the mid RCA was now dissected and the wire was partially under a dissection flap, and that dissection flap was keeping the wire from being able to be turned down into the distal RCA. So I figured I'd try a parallel wire. I kept the first pilot 50 wire in the marginal branch and tried to direct a second pilot wire to the distal RCA using a fine cross microcatheter. The second pilot 50 wire initially simply could not cross, and I was eventually able to negotiate my fine cross so that it was partially wedged into the lesion, and finally got the second pilot 50 wire to cross, but to my consternation, that wire also ended up in the marginal branch. The fine cross was actually eventually able to cross the lesion, but I could not get the wire to turn down into the distal RCA, even with the fine cross across the lesion. So now I was really worried that we might at least partially be dissected in the mid RCA and that we were partially under a dissection flap. The patient felt fine though, and there were no ST changes on the monitor. So then I decided to use a angled supercross 120 microcatheter, hoping that the angled tip will help me direct the wire the right way. And unfortunately, while the supercross advanced through the lesion surprisingly easily, it pointed the wrong way, and I was unable to torque the microcatheter to get it to point toward the distal RCA. So I shot an angio at this point to see what we were dealing with. There was indeed a little bit of contrast staining in the mid RCA, suggesting some localized dissection, but the flow was still quite good. And I considered stopping at this point and just referring the patient to one of my more talented colleagues at our friendly local tertiary center. But I would not be a card-carrying interventionalist if I didn't insist on trying just one more thing, as my jaded staff looked at me with apprehension. I wanted to try a Sasuke dual lumen catheter. I figured that I might be able to use the side hole of the Sasuke catheter to direct the wire into the distal RCA. And I actually decided to use a heavier Pilot 200 wire here, mostly because if we were truly under a dissection flap, the stiffer Pilot 200 wire might allow me to puncture the flap and re-access the true lumen, kind of like the poor man's stingray balloon. So anyway, as we see here, the Sasuke microcatheter crossed the lesion fairly easily. And remarkably enough, the Pilot 200 wire just sailed right down the RCA through the side hold of the Sasuke. I'm not sure if I just got lucky that the side hold turned out to be oriented in the right way, or whether the Pilot 200 actually had to puncture a dissection flap and re-enter, but no matter, we were now finally in business. The rest of the intervention was very straightforward. I exchanged the Pilot 200 wire to a wiggle wire. I dilated up the lesion and stented it with a 3.5 by 38 millimeter DES. I then did post-dilation with a 4.0 millimeter NC balloon at high pressure. And here's the final result, which I thought looked reasonably good. We did OCT, which showed good stent apposition and no residual dissection. The patient did well and was sent home the next day on a year of dual antiplatelet therapy. All right, take-home messages. We discussed a few approaches for dealing with tortuous coronary arteries. In general, workhorse wires alone don't work particularly well. If you are going to use a workhorse wire, we discussed using a more supportive guide, using a fast spin technique with your fingers, as well as using a U-shaped tip. The better way is to use a workhorse wire in concert with a microcatheter, or just use a hydrophilic wire, but being careful about causing a dissection or a distal perforation. We saw that dual lumen catheters such as a Sasuke can be quite useful to redirect wires down side branches or down the tortuous vessel. And in our case, the Sasuke might have actually acted like a poor man's stingray and helped us to re-enter true lumen. Thank you for watching.